Hello everyone, this is Ray Garrett with Zip Realty, and I am going to be giving you a quick tutorial today on how to mark a candidate hired in Searchlight. Now this is to be done after license has been transferred for a candidate or license has been affiliated with Zip Realty, and after all the red carpet paperwork has been completed. If you still have some questions on how to send out the red carpet link in order to send out the virtual paperwork package, then please reference the video, red carpet training video to do that. What we're going to be learning about right now is how to go into Searchlight, locate a candidate. If the candidate is not currently in Searchlight, then we'll learn how to add that candidate and mark the appropriate milestone in order to initiate the candidate being hired in Searchlight. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started on that. First of all, you'll want to log into Searchlight using the URL that's provided, which is this URL. You'll also have that in the link that I sent. And you need to use your username and password to get into Searchlight. That will also be sent to you with the link to this video. Now the username and password and the URL won't get you very far if you're not hardwired into an office. And what I mean by that is you actually have to be either hardwired, meaning that the internet in your office has to be directly connected to your computer via cable, or you have to have the VPN on your computer and be logged into the VPN to access Searchlight. So if you're having trouble getting to this page, then make sure that you're not on your wireless. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and log in. My username and password is already there. And the first thing that you're going to have to do, or that you're going to find when you log in, is all of this stuff here. You're not really going to need that, so we're just going to go look over here on the settings, and you have the gutter on the side that has all of the database settings in order to perform various functions. What we're going to do right now, though, is we're going to be hiring a person. So I'm going to show you how to first locate and then mark the correct milestone. If a candidate has gotten to the hired point by now, it is highly unlikely that they won't already be in Searchlight. Somebody should have entered them in by this point, but there is a chance that they won't be. So first of all, we're going to be looking for a name and finding a name, and then I'm going to show you what to do if that name isn't in the system. So what we'll do is we'll go here. Again, this is under the advanced search field. I'm going to go to agent's name, and let's just say I'm going to put in somebody's name, Michael. Now what happens? I'm going to hit search. Now there might be somebody in Denver, and sure enough, I'm located in the Denver district, which, by the way, you always want to make sure you're in the correct difference. And sure enough, there is somebody named Michael McCarthy in the system. What I want to encourage you to do is when you put a name here, do not type in the person's entire name. This guy could be in the system as Mike McCarthy. He could be in the system as Mickey or whatever. He might be in there as Michael P. McCarthy. The more information that you put in the search field, the less likely you are to find your candidate. So if I just find like these four letters right here in his last name, CCAR, if I want to put that in, or if I just want to even put CCA in the search field and I hit search now, that's going to pull up any agent's name with that letter combination within their name. Okay, and then I can see this table here. Now I can go click on full name and look at everybody via alphabetical order. So I see that guy's name down here, Mike McCarthy, that's the guy we found just now, but I see other McCartney. There's James McCarthy. Make sure it's not James Michael McCarthy, maybe. So what I want to emphasize here is to really make sure that you do your best to look for the candidate, use the less is more philosophy, and find a candidate prior to entering a new candidate in there, because once new candidates are entered, if it's a multiple record, it really throws the system off. All right, so now that that is out of the way, we will go in and we will say, okay, let's just say that Mike McCarthy is our guy. I'm going to click on his name, and I'm going to show you how I did that again. If you see, I'm kind of mousing over the fields here. Once I get to the one I want, I'm just going to click it. Okay, now that pops up. Once this screen pops up, I can't enter any information. You see, I can highlight stuff, but I can't enter anything because this screen is simply looking for information. If I want to add information, which I do, I want to mark a milestone. I need to go to the top left hand and click the edit button. Okay. When I do that, all of these other fields come in. I can change his name. I can add a middle initial. I can do I can change the recruiting source, which you always want to do. Let's say, for instance, this came in through Craigslist or Career Builder. You always want to do that. I can make any of those changes and hit save there, and it will save any of those changes. Right now, though, I'm giving you the bare bones essential to get somebody hired. Okay, so if you want to mark the hired milestone, you simply are going to go to this tab that says hiring milestones. This applies only if you're hiring someone to level 1, okay? If you're hiring somebody, let's say accelerator level 7 because of past production, there's going to be a review process, and we're not going to cover that in this video because it's a more rare circumstance. I want to make this video just as broad as possible, but if you are hiring somebody on a higher pay plan or a different pay plan, please feel free to contact me and I can give you information on that. But for the normal hire, we're just going to go to hiring milestones. Once I do, you will notice that these 3 buttons appear on the bottom. I'm just going to go to mark a milestone. When I do, this box is going to pop up. Okay, so once I hit the drop down here, this box is going to immediately populate. It has all milestones options in here. Now this candidate this candidate already should be in Searchlight. They should have interviews scheduled. We should find out what happened on that interview, offer made. For you entering this information here right now, don't worry about if that stuff isn't done correctly now. Just go back and tell your recruiter that he needs to go back in and enter information for this person, okay? But for right now, just to get the guy hired, we're just going to go to the hired button. We're going to go to the scheduled date because we have to put a date in here. So that date is really just going to be the date that you hired the person. Okay, so I'm just going to put the 30th, which is today. What I mean by that is the date, the actual hire date is going to be set by HQ, but the date that you put in here is the date that they actually completed paperwork. So they got their license, they got their license transferred, you verified that, check off your list. Now you sent out the red carpet link, the candidate got the link, logged into red carpet, completed all assignments in red carpet, they're 100% done with that, check. Now you go into Searchlight, now you mark this hired milestone, and the day that you're doing that, just go ahead and put that as the scheduled date. Now I will say that this has to be done, the hired date has to be done by 5 p.m. end of business day on Wednesday in order for your candidate to be able to start training the following Monday. Okay, if it's after that, then they'll be able to start training, but they will not be able to start training the following Monday. So this has to be done prior to that Wednesday. Now in the comment, you don't have to put anything here, but I always like to put in something about the pay plan, just kind of as a reference, and this helps later on. So now I'm going to hire the person. I've got the right date. I'm going to hit save, and when I do, this will populate down in this field right here. Now I'm not actually going to hit save currently, but you'll see it, it'll populate right down there. I'm not going to hit it now because I don't want to mess up the back-end process. This is live and there's no way to undo it once I've done it. So if you happen to enter something in here by mistake, I don't know how that's possible, but if you do enter something by mistake, or if the person becomes unhired or whatever, you need to send out an email immediately to the HR department in order to notify them that this was a mistake. But I'm not going to do that now because I don't want to throw a monkey wrench in the process. So there you go. That's how you do it. Just to review, I'm going to mouse over. click the link of click the name. I'm going to hit my edit button. Go to hiring milestones, click that, go to mark a milestone, and then mark the milestone here and hit save. Once that's done, and once you see that populate down there, that's all you've got to do. Now, let's go back to that situation where we said, okay, this is a candidate that isn't in. So we've searched, the candidate is not in Searchlight. Okay, we need to add a new candidate. So all we do at this point is go to this button, which says add new. I'm going to click it. I'm going to put in the candidate's information here. The phone number, you always want to make sure that you put this in here, okay? You want, it's going to make you do it in a certain format, but you want to, you really need phone number. You really need email. And we're just going to type in some certain information here, and then so try to get in as much as this information. Even if you have their street address, get that in there. But the main things that you want to know: first name, last name, primary phone, email address, and really you want to know recruiting source as well. Okay, so once you've entered that, once you've entered the information on this top level, hit save. I like to say hit save as much as you breathe. Hit breathe as much as you breathe, rather. Okay, so now that's saved. Now I've added the new candidate, and now I'm going to go to my milestone and mark a milestone just like I showed you. And you know, by hitting the hired milestone, by marking the date that they completed paperwork, and putting my comments in, hitting save. When I do, it'll populate down here, and once you see it populate here, once you see that milestone record in the bottom part here, you are set to go. Okay, so that is a quick down and dirty guide to getting somebody hired in Searchlight. And again, make sure that you do that prior to 5 p.m. Pacific time Wednesday if you want that candidate to be in the training class for the following Monday.